Hello, hi, Dave here, G0OES. What we're talking about today is probably like you. I go onto YouTube sometimes, I've got nothing better to do, and I watch some of the stuff about antennas from other radiometers, and I think, oh, come on, because of this, and I've probably covered this in other videos, but I just want to highlight it again. If you're new to amateur radio, and particularly if you're a CBer, these are ridiculous value. I mean, crazy, ridiculous value. We find ourselves today at the River Meese. Now, if the POTA police are hanging about here and say, Dave, how do you know where the River Meese is? Well, we're in total flood, and this is a Staffordshire wildlife area, and the River Meese has joined here. So we are well within 30 metres.
We are watching you always.
That was the park bench that I hoped to activate from, which clearly wouldn't be sensible. And here's the mistake I've made. I've not put this positive V, that's the right name for it, up in the air anywhere near enough. But guess what? ZL3 DMH, I think it was, thank you very much. My second contact of today on the POTA.
This breaks the rules of the RF police.
Literally second contact. So ZL on 20 metres with this just a few metres off the ground. Well, not even two. And you'd be glad to know I've got some height on it now. This antenna really does perform ridiculously well, and more on that later. Where does this, what we could call a positive V antenna, fit in to the whole conversation about long wires and all that sort of stuff? Well, one, it's easier to put up for a start. I haven't got to chuck it up into a tree, and there's a lovely tree just here you can see in the background. Absolutely ideal for activating here, so you don't have to mess about with any of that sort of stuff. And also from a vertical point of view, don't need a load of radials to act as some form of counterpoise. I've got counterpoise on this and a radiating element, two 5.6 metre whips, and you've seen all this before, and a lovely centrepiece, all from AliExpress, made of steel. Not as effective as it could be, not the best radiating substance, but do you know what? I've just come up here and I've set up in minutes, and I've activated 10 in the bag in 20 minutes. 10 in the bag, well, 26 minutes to be exact. That's all. Just like that. Pretty straightforward. So I'd even got 2 in the bag before I'd even spotted myself. So there you go, and spotted myself on the POTA app if you don't understand what that's all about. So it's not an ideal height above. It's all right, slight beep there on the car, just locked my coax in. So it's not even 10 metres or above for the 20 metre band to be on here to be as effective as possible. It's what? Let's have a look. We are, I would say that is about 4 metres off the ground. We've worked ZL already, but we've worked mainly around Europe. I can see there's some Japanese stations about that I could probably give a call, and I need to have a bit of a search about trying to get some park to parks. You see my point on this? It doesn't have to be complicated. No, it's not ideal. Probably all the RF theory goes out the window, but as I've tried to explain before, once you get out with doing POTA, you're sort of in control because you're the one making the calls, and therefore people are hunting you. So that sort of makes up for some of the inefficiency. But a lot of us are getting great results without any of the fanning around of trying to get optimal RF setups that people worry and concern themselves about. So in other words, I think POTA's done a lot of good, and a lot of the people say in the army who are operators professionally that radiometers worry too much about antennas. That's controversial. A little bit about this site. Over here we have, it's not ideal, right, because that is just over, you can't even probably see, but literally just at the top of those bushes, trees there, is the West Coast main line, which goes from London, Euston, all the way up to, well, Scotland, passes Manchester, all that sort of area. There's the entrance to here. There's a bridge, what's called the Chetwynd Road Bridge, which is a listed bridge, and it's falling to bits, and they're trying to keep it in one piece. And well, they don't build a new one, I don't get those rules, but anyway, that's me. What you'll find there is I have had RFI on that when I've been over that side, because just over that side of the river, which wouldn't count for a 2F here, is the National Memorial Arboretum, which is a fantastic place. Anyway, I did get RFI off the lights from there at one point. That was using vertical. This thing is nowhere near as bad. So we've got electric lines across there. We've got a busy road here, we've got the bridge and we've got those temporary lights and the generators that go off them and all that sort of stuff, but we're still doing really well. And yeah, Britain in flood after some biblical weather, but what a lovely spot, eh? Thought I'd just take you around the site, being as I'm here. Somebody's lost Lulu. Lulu's collar has been found. Hopefully the people find it. So we've got to a kissing gate, and this is what it's called, Croxall Lakes. So the River Meese is just there. Staffordshire Wildlife Trust. People report there isn't too much wildlife on here, but what there is I'm particularly interested in is a statue of some goddess. This was once upon a time right on the border between the Kingdom of Mercia and Danelaw and Tamworth, of course. He says of course, only if you know, if you caught the train there for many times over many years, you know is not only famous for the Spudman on TikTok, it was also the capital of Mercia, a big chunk of England. Now you can see all the flooding's right up here. Thankfully the path is okay now. It was pretty bad yesterday. There's the River Meese. Effectively, that's it. That's the River Meese. Got a confession for you. I was doing CW today as well as digital, and my CW, apologies if you contacted me today, my ear was out and I was struggling. I didn't have my hiles on. Without the hiles, I just don't hear it the same. Anyway, what an excuse. Thankfully, the IC705 ICOM records, so they're all on there. I've got the partial call signs in the log. I'll correct them afterwards, and that's all done. I've got to show you this. I think my trip to I think it's goddess of ancient Anglo-Saxons or something is curtailed. I'll show you what. That's why we've more or less got a canal instead of a path. I've seen some chaps go up here as well, but they're far better prepared with their Wellingtons. Yes, always interesting and entertaining this. So we're going to go back that way. Some final thoughts from this POTA, and they are, well, we overthink antennas. If I can activate a park in not an ideal position in 26 minutes and also keep going, and I've used Morse and all that, as you know, on top of all that, and we've got over 30 in the log. I actually think anything over 11 in the log, allowing one for a bit of space for a duplicate, just in case you get your log rejected and you've wasted an activation with the POTA HQ people, then anything over that, a bit greedy, isn't it, really? Unless you're spending the whole day somewhere and you're just enjoying being there, you know, obviously not knocking anything, but that's, you know, that's it. I can see my hero around here is G0HIO, and I notice he gets 10 in the log and CW, and that's it, packs in, nips off to another park. Sort of good idea, really. Anyway, what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is you can overthink it with antennas. It works. If it works, it works. It's fast to put up. I'll take it down in a second. It's quick to take down. And that's all that really matters. Other than that, we're just wasting our money doing another and another antenna and another and another antenna. And yeah, the experimentation's great if you're building them yourself and it's low cost. That's a brilliant thing to do. But if you're spending money, it's flipping crazy. I'll leave you with that thought. 73s.